You know, some are coming, but it's not as clear as we want. It's shaky.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
There sufficient number of devotees in here. Or are there more devotees who are watching?
I think there will be some more. Maybe it's like 60-70%.
Okay. And do Jai Radha Madhav?
Yes.
Okay. We have a HDMI.
Yes.
Here. Hare Krishna. Very happy to be here today. Thank you, Premananda Mataji and Dayal Mukund Prabhu, Shruti Mataji, and entire family, and Prashant Prabhu, and Kiran Mataji, Yash, Ravi Prabhu, and who are the other family members?
My wife Parini, she's upstairs.
Har-
Oh,
Oh, Hari Bol, wonderful. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful family. Thank you so much for kindly opening the doors of your home. Hari Bol. It's a great honor to be here amongst all of you wonderful Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. Today I am going to speak about a very interesting topic. It is written here, dear devotees, the imperfections of Bhagavan. Now please tell me, does Bhagavan have any imperfections? No, so we can end the topic here and we just go straight for Prashad. All right, yeah. So that was the aim of keeping this topic. But no, there's a lot of interesting things to speak about this particular topic. Before I begin, we'll do Jai Radha Madhav, then we'll do Mangala Charan, then I'll begin speaking something. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारे जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारे यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यामुना तीरा वनचारे यामुना तीरा वनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। So, dear devotees, we had wonderful kirtan by Dayal Mukund Prabhu and all the devotees who were assisting him. So, let's give a big round of applause to this wonderful kirtan. I am very thankful once again to all of you for having kindly assembled here. Today's topic is very, very interesting because we are trying to find imperfections in Bhagwan. Obviously, the question will be asked, what is the qualification of the person who is trying to explain the imperfections? How perfect is the person who is trying to explain the imperfections of Bhagwan. So, see, I will be very honest. I am full of all the imperfections that exist in ordinary humans. But still, I am making this attempt in order to give some pleasure to the Guru Parampara, the previous Acharyas. But before I begin, it is Shishta Parampara, it is tradition to begin with Mangalacharan auspicious invocations. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। So what is the qualification of the person who is speaking this topic on the imperfections of Bhagavan? That's a very important thing to note. And dear devotees, the only qualification is that I also have all of those imperfections and many more. There's a very nice verse. This verse was composed by the poet Jaidev. Now this Jaidev is different from Sri Jaidev Goswami. There is one poet Jaidev who appeared in the western part of India, and then there is Sri Jaidev Goswami who appeared in the eastern part of India. So this verse is by the poet Jaidev who appeared in the western part of India. This poet Jaidev, he wanted to compose a book on poetics or poetry. And his students, the fellow students, they said, why are you trying to compose a new book? You have many defects. You will spoil the opinions of the previous acharyas of poetry. So better don't attempt anything. Whatever is written is already sufficient. So they would discourage Jaidev like this. But Jaidev still ended up composing his book on poetics. In the very beginning of it, he composed the following verse. Can we give a mic to Yes Prabhu? Yeah, like yesterday. So please repeat after me, dear devotees. Na shankaniyam etesham matamete dushyate kintu chakshur mragakshinam Kajjaleneva bhushyate. So Sri Jayadev said, Na ashankaniyam, don't have any doubts that etesham matam, the opinions of the previous great acharyas, etena dushyate, will be spoiled by my speaking. Don't have such doubts. He said, my speech is just like kajal. The devotees, in the last line you can see kajal. Does anybody know what is kajal? Yeah, that kohl, Kohl, that you put, So this kajal is black, useless black substance. If you put kajal anywhere on the wall, dear devotees, if you put kajal on the wall, will the wall get spoiled? Yes or no? Yes. If you put kajal on the paper, will the paper get spoiled? Yes. He said, my speech is like kajal. It is as useless as kajal. Kintu chakshur mrigakshinam, but the writings of the previous acharyas are like the eyes of beautiful ladies. And when the kajal of my speech will be applied to those eyes, what happens when kajal is applied to beautiful eyes? Do they remain beautiful or do they become more beautiful? More beautiful. So this will be the desired effect. So this is how he expressed his disqualification. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
The audience should kindly not doubt that the opinions of these previous great acharyas will be spoiled by these explanations of mine. In fact, their opinions will be highlighted and glorified even more, just as beautiful doe-eyed ladies appeared even more beautifully decorated when a useless black substance named kajal is applied on their eyes.
So this is the mood with which this particular presentation is being given. Eyes appear more beautiful when they are decorated with kajal, dear devotees. And therefore, my speech may be as useless as kajal, but I have confidence that the writings of the previous acharyas are like the eyes of beautiful ladies. So chalo, at least there is some use to my speech. This is the mood with which I am presenting. We will begin with a statement by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says something about the perfections of Bhagwan. Prabhu, kindly read what Srila Prabhupada says in the purport to the first mantra of Sri Ishopanishad.
The words spoken by the Lord are called aparushya, which indicates that they are not delivered by any mundane person. A living being who lives in the mundane world has 4 defects. 1. He is certain to commit mistakes. 2. He is subject to illusion. 3. He has a propensity to cheat others. And 4. His senses are imperfect. No one with these 4 imperfections can deliver perfect knowledge. The Vedas are not produced by such an imperfect creature.
So in the very beginning, Srila Prabhupada is speaking against the main topic of the seminar. I hope you are able to understand. Is Bhagwan perfect or imperfect? Perfect. Because Bhagwan doesn't have 4 defects. And Srila Prabhupada has given the 4 defects here. I will give the Sanskrit names of the 4 defects. Please repeat after me the names. And then I will explain the 4 defects. First defect, dear devotees, please repeat. Brahma. Brahma, dear devotees, is known as illusion. Where Srila Prabhupada has given as the second one. In Sanskrit order, Brahma comes as the first one. Brahma is illusion. What is illusion, dear devotees? Sometimes you mistake one object for another object and you don't even know what the real object is. That is called as Brahma. Classic example of Brahma is given in Vedanta. As a person walking in the dark night, he sees a rope and he mistakes the rope for a snake. At that point, when he mistakes the rope for a snake, does he know that it is a rope? No. So he doesn't even know what the reality is. So he has mistaken the reality for something else and he doesn't know what the reality is. This error is known as Brahma. Second, please repeat after me. Pramada. Pramada is what Srila Prabhupada is saying, certain to commit mistakes. Sometimes you know what the reality is, but despite knowing the reality, we end up committing some mistake. Now, a classic example of this is when all of us might have written our examination paper, English language, And many times we made a spelling mistake, although we knew what the correct spelling was. Now, why did we make a mistake? Because of inattention. I hope you're able to understand. So, pramad or the second is translated as inattention. So, sometimes we know what the real thing is, but due to inattention, we still end up making a mistake. That is called as the second defect. What is the Sanskrit name, dear devotees? Pramad. Classic example is spelling mistakes, although you know what the correct spelling is. In my English examination in childhood, I was taught many times the spelling of there. Thier. I wrote in the exam. But the spelling is not thier. The spelling is their. Alright, so, although I knew that this is the correct spelling and I had practiced many times at home, still in the exam I wrote thier. Why? Pramad. This is how I operate. See, I am speaking this because I am fully practiced in all the different. Therefore, I am eligible to speak on this topic. So the second is pramad, dear devotees. You know what the reality is. You still, due to inattention. What is the main factor in pramad? Inattention. Due to inattention, you end up making a mistake. That is called as pramad. In Brahma, the first one, you don't even know what the reality is. But in pramad, you know the reality. But due to inattention, you end up committing a mistake. Third, dear devotees, please repeat. Vipralipsa. Now, vipralipsa is, you know what the reality is. You know you are making a mistake, but you deliberately end up making that mistake. Why? For cheating somebody. That is called as vipralipsa. Classic example is, you go to a shopkeeper and you ask him what is the price of this product, and then the shopkeeper will tell you it's only $100 specially for you. Is this the real price of the product? You ask the shopkeeper, what will he say? But does he know he is making a mistake? Yes. Is he deliberately making a mistake? Yes. Is he deliberately lying? Yes. This, dear devotees, is known as the third defect, which is called as vipralipsa, that is propensity to cheat others. And if these three are not there, then the overarching defect is always going to be there. Please repeat after me. Karana patava. Karana means instrument. The senses are instruments. Apatava. They are non-experts. They are not very expert. So karana apatava. Karana apatava. So the senses are not very expert. You cannot look very far. You cannot gaze at objects which are very near to your eyes. There are many defects in the senses. This overarching defect is definitely present in all human beings. But these four defects are not present with which personality? Bhagavan. So does Bhagavan have any defects? No. See here, Srila Prabhupada says he doesn't have any defects. So the presentation is incorrectly titled. So there is a mistake right there in the title of the presentation. Actually, I should have titled it The Perfections of Bhagavan. But maybe due to pramad, I titled it Imperfections of Bhagavan. Let's see, dear devotees. What to speak of Bhagavan, even the Acharyas don't have these four defects. The Chaitanya Charitamrita says something. Please repeat after me. Brahma pramad vipralipsa karana patava arsha vigya vakya nahi dosha sab. The first line is very clear. We have just known the terms. Four defects. Brahma, pramad, vipralipsa, karanapatav. Brahma is illusion. Pramad is inattention, dear devotees. What is pramad? Inattention. And due to inattention, you commit mistakes. Alright. Third is vipralipsa. What is vipralipsa? Cheating tendency. And karanapatav, imperfect senses. So these four, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Arsha Vigya Vakya, in the statements of the great sages, Nahi Dosha Ei Sab. These four defects are not present. Yes, Prabhu, kindly read the translation by Srila Prabhupada.
Mistakes, illusions, cheating, and defective perception do not occur in the sayings of the authoritative sages.
See, dear devotees, I am a little, when I saw the translation, I noticed something. Did you notice something in the translation? The first term in the Bengali is what? Brahma. And what is Brahma translated as? Arre? What happened? Huh? What is Brahma? Mistakes or illusion? In the translation, what is the first term? But what is the original term for mistakes? Brahma. So what should come first? Illusion. But what has come first? So I am doubtful, dear devotee. I'm already a little doubtful. It's a very sensitive topic to touch, dear devotees. It's a very sensitive topic to touch. Do the great personalities, the great sages, do they commit any mistakes? With Bhagwan, with respect to Bhagwan, we will see later, alright? But first and foremost, let's deal with the topic of the authoritative sages. And we have to approach the subject matter in a most mature way, not by taking help of our own intelligence, but by taking help of the writings of Shastra and previous acharyas, so that we can come to a mature conclusion about this. It's very easy to come to an emotional conclusion. No, they never make any mistakes. But more important than having an emotional conclusion is to have a more mature conclusion, which is supported by reality and by Shastra and previous acharyas. Now, dear devotees, Srila Prabhupada was asked directly by his disciples, because the disciples also noticed that sometimes we are seeing there are some apparent mistakes happening. How do we understand these apparent mistakes? So there is a direct conversation with Srila Prabhupada, and how many of you would like to hear directly from Srila Prabhupada the resolution of this particular topic? Are you interested to hear, dear devotees? All right, wonderful. So the devotees are asking him something. So Prabhuji, yes Prabhu, I will take the role of the disciples and you speak what Srila Prabhupada said. All right, okay. So this is from His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj on 8th April 1975. They know everything and they are perfect in everything. But sometimes from our material viewpoint, we see some discrepancies, just like we think that
Because material viewpoint, the viewpoint is wrong. Therefore, you find discrepancies.
so we should think that we have the defect.
Yes, Acharya is explained, Bhakti Shamsanat, one who's preaching the cult of devotional service, he's Acharya. Then why should you find any discrepancy?
Just we see, for instance, sometimes the Acharya may seem to forget something or not to know something. So from our point of view, if someone has forgotten, that is
No. Then
an imperfection.
that is not then you do not understand. Acharya is not God, omniscient. He is servant of God. His business is to preach bhakti cult. That is Acharya.
And that is the perfection.
That is the perfection. Hare Krishna.
Oh, wow. There's more. So we have a misunderstanding about what perfection is.
Yes, perfection is here. How he is preaching bhakti cult. That's all.
Dear devotees, this is the understanding that Srila Prabhupada gave when he was directly asked the question about perfection of the Acharya. Now, dear devotees, I have highlighted what is the definition of perfection that Srila Prabhupada gave. Perfection is in regards to his preaching of bhakti. Because he is speaking from the bhakti literature, therefore the Acharya is considered as perfect. I hope you are able to understand. And what about the apparent mistakes? Srila Prabhupada said, then you do not understand Acharya is not God or omniscient. So dear devotees, this is something which Srila Prabhupada directly clarified to his disciples. So we are gradually arriving at a mature conclusion. Dear devotees, when the Acharya is speaking, the main duty of the Acharya is to speak from Shastra. And Shastra is free of 4 defects. I hope you are able to understand. Now, because the Acharya is speaking from Shastra, And because Shastra is free from how many defects? 4 defects. Therefore, what the Acharya says is free from 4 defects. It's very simple understanding. The Acharya speaks from Shastra, and Shastra is free from 4 defects. Therefore, the Acharya's speech is free from 4 defects. But sometimes when the Acharya is speaking about some worldly subject matters, dear devotees, then the previous Acharyas say that sometimes you may notice some worldly mistakes, but you have to ignore them. Why? Because at that time the Acharya is speaking about Shastra, or is he speaking about some worldly matter? Some worldly matter. For that reason, sometimes you may see some defect. Here is Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan in his Siddhant Darpan speaking about the mistakes, apparent mistakes that may be seen. Please repeat after me. Jiva vakyeshu labhyante Jiva dharma brahmadayah Vede tu naiva te santi Sarvagya vachanochaye Jiva Vakyeshu. This is in the statements of all jivas in this world. Labhyante, you will see Jiva Dharma, the characteristics of all jivas, which is Brahm Adi, Brahm etc. Brahm etc. means total how many, dear devotees? 4. But Vede tu naiva te santi. In one particular literature, these 4 defects are not there. And which literature is he saying? Vedas, the Shastras. Sarvagya vachanochaye, because they are the statements of Sarvagya, the omniscient Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Therefore, in the Vedas, you do not find these 4 defects. Yes, Prabhu, kindly read the translation. This is from Siddhant Darpanam.
In the statements made by all living entities, we may find inherent faults, viz. Illusion, etc. These faults are a part of the existence of all living entities. Such faults, however, are not present in the Vedas, since they are the words of the omniscient Supreme Lord.
So this, dear devotees, is the mature understanding of perfection that the previous acharyas are also giving. See, Srila Prabhupada was also saying the acharya is perfect because he preaches what? Bhakti. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan is saying the words of which literature are perfect? Vedas. And when you speak from the Vedas, automatically your speech will also be perfect. I'll ask you a very simple question. How many of us believe that we are imperfect? Please raise your hands. All right. Now, if all of you speak from the Shastra and correctly explain Shastra, then are your words perfect or imperfect? Perfect. That's it. Very simple. The only difference between ourselves and an acharya mainly is that the acharya does it 24 into 7 into 365. That the acharya speaks from Shastra 24 into 7 into 365. That is what the acharya does. And therefore they are known as acharya. I hope you are able to understand. But sometimes when the acharya is speaking from outside of Shastra, you may see some apparent defects. But should these defects be taken seriously? No. Because at that point of time, he is speaking about a worldly subject matter. And these things can be very easily ignored. The main business of acharya, as Srila Prabhupada said, Bhakti Shamsanat, is to speak about Bhakti. And when he speaks about Bhakti, he speaks using by taking the help of what? Shastra or the Vedas. Therefore, his speech is perfect. Srila Jiva Goswami, at the end of Harinamamrit Vyakaranam, his major treatise on Sanskrit grammar, he wrote something, dear devotees. Yadatra vyaktam uktam na Bhrantam va tadasheshatah Gyeyam shodhyam cha vigyebhyo Vigya shastravalokatah. Yad atra, he is saying in this literature, Hari Namamrit Vyakaran, Sanskrit grammar. Now, Sanskrit grammar, dear devotees, is such a difficult field of learning. Anybody can make a mistake at any point of time, no matter how expert they are. So, Sri Jiva Goswami said in Harinamamrit Vyakaranam, Yad atra vyaktam uktam na, what has not been expressed clearly, or what has, if there are some errors that if they have come in, Bhrantam, if there is some Brahma, illusion, Gyeyam Shodhyam, you should know these errors and you should fix these errors, dear devotee. But how should you fix? Vigya Shastra Avalokatah, by referring to other learned people, other learned authorities on grammar such as Panini, etc. So this is the humility of the Acharya. Sri Jiva Goswami could have easily said, my book is free from 4 defects. So this is version 1.0 and this is the final version of Harinamamrit Vyakran. But he knows grammar is a very, very difficult field. What is today considered as valid by the grammarians, tomorrow they may say, no, this is not valid. The devotees. Therefore, Sri Jiva Goswami very clearly said this thing about Harinamamrit Vyakaranam. And therefore, the mature faith in Guru, dear devotees, is based on this. That the Guru is perfect, dear devotees, because they speak the message of which literature? Vedic Shastra. And Vedic Shastra is perfect and free of all defects. And any apparent defects that are seen in the Guru or the Acharya is because of some reasons, dear devotees. The first reason is the framework of the material world itself is defective. And the Acharya is operating in the framework of the material world. And because the framework itself is defective, therefore sometimes you may see some apparent defects, dear devotees. Second, the modes of communication, language, etc. employed by the pure devotee in the material world may not be perfect. Which is the language that Srila Prabhupada mainly spoke in? English. Now, dear devotees, is English language perfect? If you go a few hundred years ago, you will meet Shakespeare. And if you meet Shakespeare, then you speak in English to Shakespeare. Shakespeare said, these people don't belong to me. These people don't belong to me. Why? Because the language has changed tremendously. But there is one language which has not changed for millions of years. Which language? The same language in which Bhagwan Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun and to the sun god millions of years ago. The same language has carried down. So dear devotees, in Sanskrit there is version 1.0. Actually there is 1.0, but that version 1.0 is seen in the Vedas. And the grammarians, they try their best to put it into rules. But the grammarians are always a little afraid. What if there is a term in the Vedas which doesn't fit into my rules? I hope you're able to understand. Because the Vedas are unlimited and the rules are limited. And therefore they are never have the confidence that we will be able to capture all the words of the unlimited Vedas within our few thousand sutras of grammar. So this, dear devotees, is the nature of Sanskrit language. It is perfect because it has been transmitted by Bhagavan in the very beginning of the creation. And then, dear devotees, another reason why you may see some defect is because the devotee may be quoting an authority in the material world, and that authority may end up imperfect. Now, for example, I'll give an example of this. I want to ask you a question, dear devotees. Very simple question from the material world. There is no Shastra involved in this, all right? Is Pluto a planet? Hello? Okay. Dear devotees, no, you don't understand the truth. Dear devotees, yeah, see, Pluto is a planet. I hope all of you agree. Yes, so is Pluto a planet, yes or no? Yes, wonderful, dear devotees. And after some year, dear devotees, you will have another. So you go to the Acharya and you ask, is Pluto a planet? All right. So the Acharya may quote one of these opinions. Last time I heard a NASA scientist said that Pluto is a planet. And then few years later, you may say, no, the Acharya was wrong because Pluto is no longer a planet. So dear devotees, these reasons are not the reasons to see defects in any Acharya. I hope you are able to understand. Faith should be based on maturity, not based on emotion. Because there are many individuals who have their faith on the Acharya based purely on emotion, not on a mature understanding of Shastra. And therefore, by understanding maturely from Shastra, we know that the Acharya is perfect because the Acharya is speaking from Shastra. And Shastra is free from 4 defects. That is the perfection of the Acharya. But any apparent imperfections are there because of the framework of the material world, the framework of the defective language which the Acharya is using. Or sometimes the Acharya may be quoting an authority of the material world and that authority may turn out to be imperfect. But should all of those faults apply on the Acharya, dear devotees? No. Because the main business of Acharya was to speak from Shastra. And he did his duty very well. So this is what we can understand. Therefore, in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, there is a very nice verse in regards to this. Acharyam mam vijaniya navamanyeta karhiche namartya buddhya suyeta sarvadeva mayo guruhu. So this is Krishna's statement to Uddhav in the 11th canto. Acharyam mam vijaniyan. Know the Acharya to be very dear to me. First thing, before you see any mistakes in the Acharya, know that the Acharya is very dear to me. First and foremost. Na avamanyeta karhichit. Never disregard him in any way. Na martya buddhya asuyeta. Martya is mortal. Don't see him with a mortal intelligence that he was an ordinary mortal. He is just an ordinary person. He came 30 years before me. Otherwise, me and him are the same. Don't have this mindset in regards to the Acharya. Na martya buddhya asuyeta. Don't envy him by thinking him to be an ordinary mortal. Why? Sarvadeva mayo guru. The guru is the place of residence of all the devatas. Therefore, please do not see any mistakes in the Guru. Please read the translation.
Know that the Guru is very dear to me. He should never be disobeyed or disrespected. Never envy him, thinking him to be a mere mortal, for he is the embodiment of all devatas.
Yeah. The main thing is na martya buddhya asuyeta. Don't envy him by thinking him to be an ordinary person full of mistakes. Commenting upon this, Sri Sanatan Goswami in the Hari Bhakti Vilas says, Na suyeta ma dosha drishtim kuryat. Which means that the term means that one should not look upon the Guru with a vision to find faults. So this is, which means that you will see faults. I hope you are able to understand. Which means that you will see faults, but you do not take those faults very seriously. This is the intention of Sri Sanatan Goswami. He is explaining to us. And therefore, dear devotees, there is one term in Sanskrit for a student. It is called as, many of you might have heard, chhatra. How many of you have heard the term chhatra for student? What is the meaning of the term chhatra? Okay. One who is taking shelter. All right. The Sanskrit grammarians explain the term chhatra is very nicely. It is explained in the Amar Kosh. It says, Guru dosha achhadanam chhatram tachhilam asya. To cover the faults of the Guru is called as chhatra. And one whose nature is to always cover the apparent faults of the Guru is called as what? Chhatra. I hope you are able to. Guru dosha achhadanam chhatram tachhilam asya. That the disciple knows that there are some apparent faults, but does the disciple advertise them or does he cover them? Cover. Of course. So dear devotees, when there are very small mistakes are seen, the disciple doesn't advertise those things because it is the duty of the disciple to protect the Guru by acting as an umbrella over the Guru, and therefore the Guru is known as what? The disciple is known as Chhatra. This is the definition of the term Chhatra as given in the dictionaries. Now, dear devotees, the entire lecture was not about imperfections in the Guru. And we drifted from the topic. All right. This is another imperfection in me. I forget sometimes. So, what is the topic of the lecture? Oh, imperfection of Bhagavan. My goodness. So, dear devotees, Srila Rupa Goswami just gives one direct conclusion. And Sri Rupa Goswami also supports what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that Bhagwan's body doesn't have any mistakes. Here is the verse by Sri Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. So Sri Rupa Goswami says, please repeat after me. Vaishnav Tantre Ashtadasha Mahadoshay Rahita Bhagavattanu Sarvaishwarya Mai Satya Vijnananda Rupini. Vaishnav Tantra, it is said in the Vaishnav Tantra, Ashtadasha Mahadoshai Rahita Bhagavattanu. The body of Bhagavan is free from how many errors, dear devotees? 18 major errors. 18 major, mahadosha. Minor errors you can have infinite. I hope you're able to understand. Huh? Somebody is missing one teeth. Minor error. I hope you're able to. So these major errors are 18. Somebody has yellow teeth, another error. Minor errors you can find infinite. But Sri Rupa Goswami is saying major errors. How many major errors are there? 18. The body of Bhagavan is free from 18 major faults found in mortals. It is full of all opulence and is the personification of truth, knowledge and bliss. So this is the conclusion given by Sri Rupa Goswami. Now why did I name my presentation like this, dear devotees? So first and foremost, let's see the faults that Sri Rupa Goswami has mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Now I'm just giving the translation with the original names of the faults, dear devotees. Please repeat after me. The 18 faults of conditioned mortals are described in the Vishnu Yamal as follows. Please repeat the Sanskrit. Moha. And what is moha translated as, dear devotees? Perplexity. Perplexity. People become perplexed. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjun was overcome by moha. What is the meaning of moha? Perplexity. In Sanskrit, there is another term for moha. Kim kartavya vimood. Kim kartavya. What should I do? What should I not do? I am unable to decide. This feeling, dear devotees, is termed as what? Moha. So perplexity. This is the first defect. Now, how many of us have undergone this defect? Please raise your hands. I hope you are able to understand. Every morning, some of us wake up from bed. Should I stay in bed for some time or should I go to... So, early morning, first thing in the morning, we are attacked by the first defect, dear devotees, moha. Second, dear devotees, tandra. What is tandra, dear devotees? Sleep. Now, sleeping is also defect. Achha. So, then all of us are defective, dear devotees. Third, dear devotees, Brahma. What is Brahma? Oh, dear devotees. So, I wanted to see, I deliberately put a mistake there, dear devotees. And this was my cheating tendency, so that somebody should recognize I have made a mistake there. What is Brahma, dear devotees? Illusion. Alright, so Brahma should be illusion. Alright, so my presentation is also imperfect, because it has one mistake here. Okay. Anyway, dear devotees, fourth, Ruksharasata. Ruksharasata is artificial attachment without genuine affection. Sometimes you see a devotee in the temple and you don't really like them. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, how are you? Yeah, everything. Yes, Prabhu, are you okay? Yeah, I'm getting a call, Prabhu. I'll talk to you. So this, dear devotees, is called as Ruksharasata, artificial attachment without actual love. Alright. So this is Ruksharasa. This is one of the defects. Alright. Fifth, dear devotees, Kama Ulbanaha. Troublesome lust, because people, they burn in these romantic affairs in the world. All people experience immense anxiety and misery, and nobody is happy in any sort of romantic affairs in the world. Kama ulbanaha, and it burns people at all points of time. Even if you are married to your choicest person, and even if all the books and the movies say they lived happily ever after, that is where the movie ends, because there is nothing happy to show after that. So that is where it all ends. They lived happily ever after. They don't show anything after that. They don't show that the poor man is paying the mortgage bills and he's lost his hair, and the lady is having grey hair after some years. So they don't show she lost her beauty because she had 2-3 children. She lost most of her beauty. They don't show like that, because if they show the reality, then the movie will not sell. I hope. So Kam ulbana. So lust is very troublesome. Romantic affairs are very troublesome. What is sixth? Lolata. Lolata is fickleness of mind. Sometimes we are not able to decide what to do, what not to do. The mind is having many opinions and it jumps from one opinion to another opinion. This is fickleness. 7 devotees. Mada. Mada is intoxicated behavior sometimes, We are so happy with our friends also. We start talking as Hare Dayal Mukund Prabhu, how are you doing? Yeah? Come to my home, I'll feed you one tub of ice cream today. है ना? Dear, huh? So intoxicated behavior because I am happy today. So everybody should be happy, isn't it? Huh? So this is mother, intoxicated behavior. 8th dear devotees. Matsarya. Matsarya is very clear. Envy. Huh? So Dayal Mukund Prabhu got Tesla, but I don't have. So, Matsarya, dear. 9th dear devotees. Himsa. When nothing else works, this is the final solution in the material world. Huh? To settle all unsettled, grudges. Himsa is the final solution in the material world. This is another defect, violent behavior. 10th dear devotees. Kheda. Kheda is weariness. You get a little tired by working. So this is called as kheda, weariness. 11th. Parishrama. Parishrama is not only do you get tired, you start getting sleepy, you become very fatigued, you lie down, so this is called as parishram, overworking. 12th dear devotees. Asatya. Asatya is lying. Now, how many of us don't have this defect? Raise your hands. Anybody who's raising their hand is making the defect right at that very moment, dear devotees. So, asatya. Asatya is lying. An average human being speaks 14 lies every day. Yeah, 14 lies every day. An average human being has the tendency to speak 14 lies every day. Okay. So you can search on Google. At least at that time, Google is not lying. Okay. So therefore, an average human being speaks 14 lies every day. So this, dear devotees, is asatya. 13th, dear devotees. Krodha. Krodha is anger. We know what anger is. Many of us have experience of that. 14th, dear devotees. Akanksha. Akanksha is expectation to obtain a desired object. That I want this thing and therefore it is giving me trouble. That is akanksha. 15th. Ashanka. Sometimes we have doubts or concerns about others. We fall in a state of doubt. That is called as ashanka. 16th. Vishwa Vibhrama. Sometimes we forget ourselves in the material world and that we forget that we have a goal of life. That this is called as Vishwa Vibhrama. And 17th. Vishamatva. Vishamatva is partiality. I like Yash Prabhu more. I don't like Dayal Mukund Prabhu so much because he has Tesla now. So I am more biased towards him. So this is called as Vishama. Do you have Tesla? I have to find a lesser privileged friend now. So the partiality, dear devotees. Okay. And 18th, parapeksha is dependence on others. Since our childhood, we were dependent on parents for the first 20 to 25 years. Our parents raised us, and after 25 years, we started saying that I am a self-made man. So this is, we didn't realize that we had parapeksha, complete dependence on others for the first 20 to 25 years. Now I am a self-made man. All right, so this is parapeksha. This is the 18th fault. Now, dear devotees, these faults are not present in the body of Bhagavan. I hope you are able to understand. Very simple question, dear devotees. Are these faults present in Bhagavan Vishnu? No. Are these faults present in Bhagavan Krishna? Kya? No, I am asking one very simple thing. Are these faults present in Bhagavan Vishnu? Does Bhagavan Vishnu sleep? Yog Nidra, he doesn't sleep. Does Bhagavan Krishna sleep? What happens? See, either say yes or say no. You are going against Sri Rupa Goswami here, so be very mindful of what you are saying. Chalo, when we were dealing with the Acharya thing, we had clarity, but now you are making me more confused. Does Krishna have defects? Yes or no? No. See, don't do like the ISKCON devotees. He has transcendental. Don't. Either he has defects or he doesn't have defect. It's a very important factor now, because now we are coming to the crux of the presentation. Does Krishna have defects? But it goes against, it flies in the face of the verse that was written just, This, what did Sri Rupa Goswami say? That the body of Bhagavan is free from the 18 major faults. And I am asking you, and all of you are still saying yes. So dear devotees, Sri Jiva Goswami comments upon this. One of the wonderful things of Sri Jiva Goswami is he is a wonderful commentator who was present right there when the author was writing the text. Often what happens is the commentator is separated from the author by thousands of years. For example, the Srimad Bhagavatam was written, it was compiled 5,000 years ago, and the commentators came just 1,000 years ago. So they are separated from Sri Vyasadeva by a gap of thousands of years. But look at the beauty of Sri Jiva Goswami. When Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu was being written by Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami was fanning Sri Rupa Goswami. So while he is writing, Sri Jiva Goswami is asking, what about Sri Krishna? He asked the same question. So whatever Sri Rupa Goswami told him directly on the spot, he wrote down as his notes. And his notes became his commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And fortunately, we have the commentary of Sri Jiva Goswami on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu today. So we have the exact nuanced, detailed understanding that Sri Rupa Goswami gave him. So this is what Sri Jiva Goswami wrote directly by hearing from Sri Rupa Goswami. Very wonderful words. Please repeat. Bhakta prema sambandhena tu etecha gunatvaya kalpante. Bhakta prema sambandhena, in connection with his prema for his devotees. These faults are seen in Bhagavan, but these faults ultimately end up being his sweet qualities. So there is only one reason why Bhagavan exhibits faults. Bhakta prema sambandhena, in connection with his prema for his devotees, that Bhagavan exhibits faults. I hope you are able to understand. There is only one reason for Bhagavan to exhibit faults. What is the one reason? To exhibit prema for his devotees, to increase love and loving transactions, loving dealings between his devotees. He is exhibiting these mistakes. And do these mistakes end up showing as mistakes, or do they increase his beauty, dear devotees? They increase his beauty. This is what Sri Jiva Goswami says, and he also quotes a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please repeat after me. Anugrahaya bhaktana manusham dehamastitah bhajate tadrishi krida yah shrutva tatparo bhave. Anugrahaya, for bestowing mercy. For bestowing mercy upon whom? Bhaktanam, upon the devotees. Manusham deham asita, he has taken manush deha. Manush deha means which body? Human body. When Bhagavan takes a human body, Bhagavan accepts a human body with all the characteristics of a human body. I hope you are able to understand. When Bhagavan will accept a human body, will Bhagavan accept a human body with its defects or without its defects? With its defects. That is the meaning of as it is. Did Bhagavan accept a human body as it is or not as it is? As it is. If he has accepted a human body as it is, then has he accepted the faults that come with the human body? Of course, he has accepted. But bhajate tadrishi krida, and he exhibits human-like pastimes. It is called Naralila. What lila is it called, dear devotees? Naralila. Naralila means human-like pastimes. Yaha shrutva, hearing those, tatparo bhavet, you become very dedicated to Bhagavan. Please read the translation of this verse from the Bhagavatam.
He assumes a human-like body to show mercy to his devotees, and he engages in such human pastimes in order to attract those who hear about them to become dedicated to him.
Yes, dear devotees. So this is Naralila. And it also happened in other pastimes such as Bhagwan Ram. And Bhagwan Ram was separated from Sita Devi, and he was separated for the 4 months of Chaturmas, because Sugriv had promised him that I will send out the monkey army, but you have to wait for how many months? 4 months of Chaturmas. Rainy season is going on. I cannot send out my army in this season. So he waited for 4 months, and there are descriptions of him crying alone in separation from Sita Devi. Now, crying out of some expectation, is it one of the 18 defects that Sri Rupa Goswami mentioned? Of course, depending on somebody else is also the final mistake. And akanksha, expecting something from others, is also a mistake. So is Bhagwan Ram displaying a human error? Yes. But what is the purpose? Bhakta prema sambandhena, in relation to prema for his devotees. What will be achieved by Bhagwan Ram crying? Please understand this thing. When Bhagwan Ram will cry, those who are like-minded to him will also cry. I hope you're able to understand. Those who are like-minded to him will also cry. And to cry and become like-minded to Bhagwan is the perfection of the human form of life. To cry for Bhagwan is the perfection of the human form of life. That is the reason why he exhibited those pastimes. Yaha Shrutva, hearing them, tat paro bhavet, you become dedicated to him. So this is the meaning of that last line. Now, how many errors were there? How many mistakes were there, dear devotees? 18 major mistakes. Minor mistakes are unlimited, but 18 major. Now, yes, Prabhu, you have to calculate. We will see one by one. Sri Jiva Goswami takes all the 18 mistakes and he shows them, tries to show them in the personality of whom? Shri Krishna. Most of them, he says, are present in Shri Krishna. Dear devotees, now you have to keep account. All right, first one, dear devotees. Which is the first one? Moha. Moha is perplexity. And there is a very nice example Sri Jiva Goswami gives for Moha from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. Tato vatsana drishtvaitya puline picha vatsapa ubhavapi vane krishno vichikaya samantatah. So this is when Shri Brahma stole the calves and the cowherd boys. This is that particular incident. Tato vatsan adrishtva itya. Vatsan, the term vatsa has both meanings, calves and cowherd boys. So when Bhagwan did not see the cowherd boys, the calves, puline on the banks of the river, ubhavapi, both of them he did not see. Krishna vichikaya. Vichikaya means became perplexed for, oh, what should I do now? I hope you're, for a moment, it became vichikaya. In Hindi, we say chakit ho gaya. I hope you're, so those who understand Hindi, chakit ho gaya, vichikaya, but chakit ho gaya. Kya karna hai, kya hai? What to do, what not to do. This, dear devotees, is a classic example of which defect? Moha. Although momentarily, Bhagwan had moha. Here is the translation, Prabhu. Kindly read.
Thereafter, when Krishna was unable to find the calves, he returned to the bank of the river, but there he was also unable to see the cowherd boys. Thus he began to search for both the calves and the boys, as if he could not understand what had happened.
Yeah, he doesn't know what has happened. He's a little perplexed here. So, does Shri Krishna have perplexity, the defect of perplexity? Yes or no? Are all of you are thoda, huh? Speak like a Gaudiya Vaishnav. Yes or no? Ah, of course, our Bhagavan is full of defects. Yeah, this is that is what we like. Huh? Okay, so I want to ask you one simple question. All right, how many of you want to fall in love with a God, with a Bhagavan who never makes any mistakes, never speaks any lies, always walks on the path of dharma, never deviates from the path of dharma, and is all perfect in all regards? How many of you want to fall in love with such a Bhagavan? Raise your hands. How many of you want to fall in love with a Bhagavan who always makes mistakes, who falsely cries, who speaks lies, who deviates from the path of dharma from time to time? Please raise your hands. Arre wow, audience is fully brainwashed here. What to do? All of you are cult members. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brainwashed. What to do? Dear devotees. Second, Sri Jiva Goswami says, I will take 3 defects together. What are the 3 defects? Sleep, weariness, and fatigue. Total there will be how many? 4. Alright. So Sri Jiva Goswami gives another example. Kvachit pallava talpeshu niyuddha shramakarshita vrakshamulashrayah shete gopotsangopabharhanah. Kvachit pallava talpeshu. Sometimes what he will do, sometimes he will become niyuddha shramakarshita. Why? Wrestling with the gopas, he become very tired. And because of becoming very tired, pallava talpeshu, at the base of a tree, vrikshamulashrayah, they will make a bed out of soft leaves. And at the base of a tree, after they make a bed of soft leaves, he will shete, he will sleep. Gopa utsanga upabarhana, and he will make the lap of a gopa as his wonderful pillow, and he will sleep nicely, dear devotees. So weariness, fatigue, and sleep. Are these defects present in the body of Sri Krishna? Yes. Still all of you are little, to think it will be aparad to say like this. There is no aparad, dear devotees. Sri Rupa Goswami has said, definitely those defects are present in the body. Are they present in the body of Sri Krishna? Yes, 100%. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
Sometimes Lord Krishna grew tired from fighting and lay down at the base of a tree, resting upon a bed made of soft twigs and buds, and used the lap of a cowherd friend as his pillow.
So there is an approximate painting of this, dear devotee. So sometimes he will grow tired of fighting, and then he will lay down at the base of a tree. And then he will go to sleep. Our Bhagavan has a very specific habit. In his sleep, he starts blabbering. There are many verses in the Padyavali and by Sri Rupa Goswami. He starts blabbering in the middle of the night sometimes. He starts blabbering after sleeping. So this happens only with this personality. What is his name, dear devotee? Sri Krishna. So don't expect this with Sri Vishnu or anybody else. If you want to fall in love with a perfect God who never makes any mistakes and is all perfect, Sri Vishnu is your choicest personality of Godhead. But if you want to fall in love with a God who makes all those mistakes, here is that person. So you can make your choice. All the options have been put in front of you. Okay? So don't complain later. Okay? One time it is described by Sri Rupa Goswami in Padyavali. He was a small child and he went to sleep. In the night he started blabbering. Shambho swagatamasya tamita ito. So in the morning he had seen Nanda Maharaj is worshipping somebody. We asked Nanda Maharaj, whom are you worshipping? He said, our family tradition is to worship Indra. So who is Indra? Indra is the king of Swarga, so king of heaven. Acha. So that night in his sleep, he became the king of Swarga. He dethroned. And Sri Rupa Goswami said, Shambho Swagatamasyatam. He is saying, Are Shambho, Are Shiva, welcome, sit here on my right hand side. Vamena Padmodbhava, Brahma, come here, sit on my left hand side. And blabbering in the sleep. And Kraunchare Kushalam, Kartike, is everything okay with you? You are the commander-in-chief of the Devatas. Is everything okay for you? Surapate, Sukham Surapate. Oh Indra, are you happy? I'm sorry I dethroned you. I hope. Viteshano Drishyase, and Kuber, you are the finance manager of the. You are not seen much nowadays. We have a lot of talking to do. So, Itham Swapna Gatasya Kaitabaripo Shrutva Jananya Giro. Mother Yashoda is sleeping next to him, and she, what nonsense this boy is. Shambhu, Shiva, you sleep on right side and you sleep on left side. Kim Balaka Jalpasi Tyanuchit, what nonsense you are speaking? Krishna, wake up. Tu! She speak like, Tu! And Krishna, what happened? What nonsense are you speaking? Sorry, I forgot. Yeah. So, Sri Rupa Goswami describes like that. So this is the personality we are dealing with. So you need to have that confidence of a Gaudiya Vaishnava to call out his mistakes. I hope you are able to understand. If you become a little frightened and you don't call out his mistakes, then you cannot be that Gaudiya Vaishnava. A Gaudiya Vaishnava is one who has that confidence to relate to Bhagwan as a human. That is a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Alright, if you keep relating to him as the supreme personality of Godhead, free from all defects, he will always remain like that for you. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. As people surrender unto me, I reciprocate accordingly. So if he is going to remain that all perfect personality of Godhead for you, then he will reciprocate like that with you. Do you want that sort of a reciprocation, or do you want this sort of a reciprocation? So you decide, dear devotees. So this is how proximity to Bhagavan is developed, by understanding how Bhagavan has human-like defects. I hope you are able to understand. So, did you read the translation? Yes. Okay. How many defects total? 4. All right. Let's deal with the fifth one. What is the fifth one, dear devotees? Brahma. And now I translated properly. All right. Brahma is illusion. So now I am going to quote the English translations, because for 18 mistakes, if I quote 18 verses, we will need another 2 classes. So I'm just quoting the English translation. Yes, Prabhu, kindly read. In the childhood, Shri Krishna and Balram are doing something. Please read.
When Krishna and Balaram, with their strength of their legs, crawled in the muddy places created in Braj by cow dung and cow urine, their crawling resembled the crawling of serpents, and the sound of their ankle bells were very charming. Very much pleased by the sound of other people's ankle bells, they used to follow these people as if going to their mothers. But when they saw that these were other people, they became afraid and returned to their real mothers, Yashoda and Rohini.
Wow. So Krishna and Balram in their childhood, they are crawling, and when they saw some other people, they fall into Brahma, illusion, that these are Yashoda and Rohini. And they follow those people. After some time, the Brahma is dissipated, and they realize, oh, this is not Yashoda and Rohini. They quickly run back to their original mothers, dear devotees. This is a classic example of which error, dear devotees? Brahma, illusion. So does Krishna fall into illusion? Yes, 100%. Of course, this is the vision of a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Now, dear devotees, how many have? 5, all right. Now, the 2 more, artificial attachment and troublesome lust. Sri Jiva Goswami makes a point here. Ruksha rasata nama prema sambandham vina ragah. Fake attachment without genuine love is not present in Shri Krishna, dear devotees. I hope you are able to understand. When Bhagavan loves somebody, he loves somebody. And when he doesn't love somebody, he is clear that I don't love this person. He doesn't show that fake artificial attachment towards anybody. This is what is the statement of Sri Jiva Goswami. A classic example of this was seen when Sri Krishna went to Hastinapur as a peacemaker between the Kauravas and Pandavas. Duryodhan invited him that you come to my palace, I will feed you the best of bhoga, best of food. So Sri Krishna straight away told Duryodhan, this is in the Mahabharata, there are only 2 reasons why an invitation will be accepted. The first reason, if there is genuine love. And the second reason, if there is an emergency. Duryodhan, neither is there genuine love between you and me, and neither am I in a state of emergency. So I will not accept anything from you. So where will you accept food? I will go to Vidur's home. That Shudra. You will eat from the home of a Shudra. Yes, I will eat from the home of a Shudra. Because that Shudra has something which you don't have. He has genuine attachment for me. And I have genuine attachment for that Shudra. I will eat at his home. But I will not eat at your home. I hope you are able to understand. This defect is not present in Bhagwan. Never faked his love for anybody. Very clear. And he says, Ulbano dukkhadaha kamo laukikaha. Material world romantic affairs are very painful and troublesome. Tasya prema rupa kamatva sacha nasti eva. But in connection with Bhagwan, there is absolutely no trouble, no material misery in all his loving affairs. Whether with the gopis of Vrindavan or with the queens of Dwarka, there is absolutely no material trouble and no feeling of burning within the heart like that. So these 2 are not present within the body of Bhagwan. His Leela is naravat. It is like a human being. He doesn't exactly become a human being. It is like a human being, so some defects may not be present. So total how many now? 7. Please keep a count, otherwise we'll end up with less than. So these are 7, dear devotees. Next, 8th one is what? Fickleness. So a very classic example of this is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please read.
When Mother Yashoda and Rohini were unable to protect the babies from calamities threatened by horned cows, by fire, by animals with claws and teeth, such as monkeys, dogs, and cats, and by thorns, swords, and other weapons on the ground, they were always in anxiety, and their household engagements were disturbed. At that time, they were fully equipoised in the transcendental ecstasy known as the distress of maternal affection, for this was aroused within their minds.
So this is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Shringyagmidam shrasi jala dvija kantakebhya. Sri Shukdev Goswami is saying, these children became so fickle-minded that they would cause trouble to Mother Yashoda and Rohini often. First, Shringi, horned cows, they would go to the cowshed of Nanda Maharaj and will pick the bull with the biggest horns. And they will make funny faces in front of that bull. Dear devotees, this is first thing which Bhagavan did in his childhood. Second, Agni, fire. In the kitchen, they will see some fire is burning and Krishna is very attracted to catching the flame of the fire. So he will rush very quickly to catch the flame of the fire. Third, dear devotees, by animals with claws and teeth, such as monkeys. So monkeys are very good friends. So he will see some monkey on the tree. So he will call the monkey to come here. When the monkey comes, he will ask the monkey to open his mouth and he will count the teeth inside the mouth of the monkey to see if he has perfect pair or not. Dear devotees, this he will do. Then, dear devotees, by thorns, sometimes he will put his hand in a thorny bush and try to find if there is some gold or silver hidden there. Dear devotees, like this. Swords and other weapons. Sometimes Nanda Maharaj, he will keep swords in his cupboard because to protect the cows against wild animals. Sometimes he forgets to lock the cupboard, Nanda Maharaj. So Krishna and Balram open the cupboard and they take the swords, one in each hand, dear devotees. And then there is Mahabharata right in the childhood, dear devotees. And then, because of this, they were always in anxiety. The mothers were always in anxiety. They lost their peace of mind because of this. Now the Acharyas say this is not material misery for the mothers. This is an expression of Bhakti Ras. Bhakti Ras means they are having the bliss of experiencing Vatsalya at this particular point of time. There is no material misery involved here. Alright? Now, if you want to see an approximate painting of this, here is what, you can see they would. They are always in anxiety because he is very fickle-minded. Alright? Now, the devotee commentator, Sri Harisuri, says a very important point. Bhagavan is preparing for the future. Because horned cows, he is practicing in front of horned cows because later he has to fight a demon who comes in the form of a bull. Which demon, dear devotees? Arishtasur. Fire. Later he has to consume the forest fire not once but twice, dear devotees. Animals with claws and teeth, he has to fight Aghasur who has sharp teeth, dear devotees. Then he has to use swords to fight Jarasandh 17 times. Then he has to remove all the thorn-like kings from the surface of the earth in Mahabharata, dear devotees. And for this reason, since practice makes perfect, therefore in his childhood, our Bhagavan is already practicing everything. So this is wonderful realization by the devotee commentator, Sri Harisuri. How many? 8. Sri Jiva Goswami says 9, 10, 11. Intoxication, envy, violence. So Sri Jiva Goswami gives the example of intoxication. Please read the translation. This is from the 10th canto, 35th chapter. Please read, Prabhu.
As Krishna respectfully greets his well-wishing friends, his eyes roll slightly as if from intoxication.
Yeah, so he meets his friend, Subal, how are you? Like that. Subal, how are you? Is everything okay? So his eyes are rolling in intoxication. This is this is one of the mistakes or defects that he makes. Now, what is the next one? Envy. Now, does Bhagavan have envy? Of course. Please read.
Indra is proud of his opulence, and out of foolishness he falsely considers himself the lord of the universe. I will now destroy such ignorance.
So, dear devotees, at this point of time, the Acharyas explain that Bhagwan actually displayed envy of the position of Indra. And in the Gopal Champu, Sri Jiva Goswami says that when Nanda Maharaj and all the Vrajavasis were preparing to offer everything to Indra, so Krishna came and stopped all of them and said, don't offer to Indra, you offer to everybody in the universe. You offer to the Brahmanas, you offer to the Kshatriyas, you offer to the Vaishyas, to the Shudras, you offer to the animals, to the insects, to the birds, offer to everybody, including the lowest species, offer even to the dog, but don't offer to that Indra. This is the direct statement of Bhagwan Shri Krishna at that particular point of time. So this is one exhibition of a humane defect of envy at this particular point. Now, what remains, dear devotees? Violence. Sri Jiva Goswami says violence is well documented in many places. I don't need to give you examples. Violence is very well documented in many places. One very good example of violence is when he was going to Mathura and he wanted to take the dress of a king in order to meet a king. He wanted to meet Kamsa on an equal level. It's not, he wouldn't want to meet Kamsa as a cowherd. So there was that dhobi washerman. Dhobi was washing the clothes. And he asked the washerman, these clothes look very nice. Give me one set. So Dhobi said, "Chal hat." So who are you people? You cowards. You think you can wear the clothes of kings? So at that time, Krishna gave him one slap and uninstalled his head from his body. So this is one example of violence. Of course, he was delivered and he went back to Godhead. But Krishna uninstalled his head from his body at that particular point of time. In Hindi, my Guru Maharaj was saying, भगवान ने उसका सर उतार दिया. ऐसा सर उतार दिया मतलब when I thought what is सर उतार दिया मतलब क्या है? Like he removed like a crown. So how do I translate it in English? Bhagwan uninstalled his head from his. That's how. So like this is what I can translate. Very good. I'm a computer professional, so how many till now? 11. All right. So then Sri Jiva Goswami takes other three: lying, anger, and worldly expectations. For lying, he gives the example, very classic example. Prabhu, please read what Bhagwan said.
My dear mother, I have never eaten dirt. All my friends complaining against me are liars.
Wow. The most truthful person on planet Earth. Everybody who complains against me are liars. Dear devotees, Bhagwan Vishnu's name is Satya Narayan. I hope you're able to. One of the names of Bhagwan Vishnu is Satya Narayan. What is the meaning of Satya Narayan? That Narayan who always speaks Satya. Look at Mithya Narayan. This is. They are all liars. Sri Jiva Goswami says in Damodar Lila, when Mother Yashoda caught him and she showed him the stick and she asked him two questions. She said, who broke the pot? So Krishna, crying, false tears, he said, it was punishment from Bhagavan. So then she asked him, Acha, who was feeding the monkeys then? So Krishna replied, he who has created the monkeys is responsible for feeding the monkeys. So like this, he spoke all these half truth, half lies. And the Acharya say this is his nature because Krishna has taken shelter of Nanda Maharaj's family. Nanda Maharaj's family is Vaishya family, business family. And businessmen, they don't speak complete truth. I hope businessmen speak half truth, half lies. So he is living up to the name of the family. He also speaks half truth, half lies. This is the beauty of Bhagwan's lying. Next is, dear devotees, anger. And this was also exhibited in Damodar Leela. Please read, Prabhu.
Being very angry and biting his reddish lips with his teeth, Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone.
Arey wow, dear devotee, this is Acharya of Bhagavad Gita. Who is Acharya? Anybody knows what is the definition of Acharya? How Prabhupada defined an Acharya? One who lives by example. In the Gita, Bhagavan said there are 3 gateways to hell. What are the 3 gateways to hell, dear devotees? Lust, anger, greed. Arey wah. Huh? So anger is one of the 3 gateways of degradation that our Acharya of Gita spoke. And look at the practical example. I hope, so he became Acharya of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, in Dwapar Yuga, nobody became a devotee. I hope you're right. But when he became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and walked the talk, actually walked the talk, so many people became a devotee. How many people became devotee in Dwapar Yuga by listening to Bhagavad Gita? Tell me the names. Arjuna already a devotee. Bhagavan said in the Gita, Bhakto si me sakhache. The reason I am speaking the Gita to you because you are already my devotee. Look at the one example. They're scraping the bottom of the and trying to find one example, and Arjun comes to their mind. Anybody else who became a devotee in Dwapar Yuga after hearing Bhagavad Gita? Sanjay. Wow. Sanjay already was blessed by Sri Vyasadeva, that you will hear. So Sanjay is already dedicated to Sri Krishna. Find a person who was a non-devotee, complete non-devotee on the street, who heard the Bhagavad Gita, who became a devotee. Bolo. This is the condition of the Acharya of the Gita. I am being very honest with you. Okay? Achha, when he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how many people became devotees? All of you are Pratyaksh Praman, direct examples of. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can show, see, I walk the talk and this is the result. But Krishna has no result to show, dear devotees. Because Acharya of Bhagavad Gita. I hope you're able. It's just a funny point I am making. Alright, please don't take it very seriously. Sometimes people take these funny points as very seriously, but this is just a very light point. Alright. 10th is worldly expectations. Okay, so here is an example of worldly expectations.
While Mother Yashoda was churning butter, Lord Krishna, desiring to drink the milk of her breast, appeared before her.
Yeah, appeared before her and she was churning, and he directly put his hand on the churning rod and stopped it. This was the attitude of him, that you stop everything else and now you feed me milk, devotees. A very spoiled child of a rich father. This is how he was behaving at that particular point of time. How many total? 14? Okay. 15, 16, 17. Doubts, worldly indulgence and biased nature. Does Bhagavan have doubts? Of course, yes. In the same pastime where Brahma stole the cowherd boys and calves.
When Krishna was unable to find the calves and their caretakers, the cowherd boys, anywhere in the forest, he could suddenly understand that this was the work of Lord Brahma.
Suddenly he had a doubt. Most likely this has been done by whom? Brahma. This is where Bhagavan is exhibiting a doubt. Alright. Next is worldly indulgence. And then Sri Jiva Goswami says his worldly indulgence is by helping his devotees in maintaining the world, such as Brahma, such as Bhagavan Shiva, etc. This is how he also gets into worldly indulgence. And 19th is biased nature. And dear devotees, in the Bhagavad Gita, he makes a bold proclamation. Samoham sarva bhuteshu na me dveshyosti na priya. Who knows the meaning of this verse? I am equal to all living entities. I envy nobody and I favor nobody. And in the very next line, he contradicts himself. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te teshu chapyaham. But those who are my devotees, they are always within me and I am always within them, dear devotees. Please read the translation. This is Bhagavad Gita 9.29. Can anybody pull out this verse on their phones? Yes, please.
Samaham sarvabhuteshu. I am equal to all, yet if someone worships me, then I am within him and he is within me.
So how are you equal to all? Isn't it? Who has the verse in front of them? You have, Prabhu? Can you read the translation on the mic? Please give him the mic.
I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever renders service unto
No,
me,
why did you put a but after that? The sentence should have ended there. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. That's all. That's justice. And after that, he puts a but. And what?
but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Oh, wow. So means you defeated the purpose of the verse in the last two lines of the verse. The purpose was to show that you are equal to everybody, but you ended up proving that you are thoroughly biased towards your devotees. And this is the praman from Bhagavad Gita. How many total, Prabhu? 17. And one final one remains, dependence on others. And Sri Jiva Goswami quotes a very wonderful verse that Bhagwan spoke to Durvasa Muni. Please repeat. Aham bhakta paradhina. I am completely under the control of my devotees. So total how many mistakes, dear devotees? 18 major mistakes. Minor mistakes, there can be unlimited. And now all of you have decided you want to fall in love with this Bhagwan. Okay? So my best wishes to you. I hope that your love is successful and that you end up relishing all these qualities with Bhagwan. I am concluding with a verse by Sri Jiva Goswami where he says, I worship lust, greed, etc. दान केलिक लौलुप्त धर्म मर्यादयोर भजे राधा माधवयोः काम लोभ दंभ मदानृतम. Radha Madhavayo, Radha and Madhav have something. First is calm. What is the meaning of calm, dear devotees? Last. Lobha, greed. Dambha, pride. Mada, intoxication. Anritam, speaking lies. I worship all this. Sri Jiva Goswami says, Bhaje. I worship the Kama, Lobha, Krodha, Dambha, Mada, Anritam, of whom Radha and Madhav, who have lost all sense of dharma. Dharma maryadayor bhaje. In which pastime? In dan keli, in the pastime of tax. They lost all sense of worldly morality and they became engaged in all these defects. I worship those defects of Sri Sri, Radha and Madhav. Please read the translation.
I worship the lust, greed, deceit, pride, and falsities of Radha and Madhav, who have lost all sense of world religiosity while displaying their love quarrel in these pastimes, such as exacting dan, tax, etc.
Yeah. So these dear devotees, we worship the defects of Bhagwan, actually. We worship the imperfections of Bhagwan. They are not actually material imperfections. There is only one reason why Bhagwan displays imperfections. In the beginning, in when I started this section, I explained what is the only reason why Bhagwan displays the imperfections. For prema, in relationship of prema with his devotees, he displays these errors. Please keep that central focal point in your mind. The only reason why he displays these mistakes is to increase the flavor of prema between himself and his devotees. And how many of you want that Bhagwan should show all these mistakes? Please raise your hands. Oh, wonderful. So you want a defective Bhagwan, you made the choice. All right, dear devotees. So, and the speaker was also defective. I fit the bill very nicely. So I have experience of all these defects, dear devotees. But I am very thankful that I was given an opportunity to speak something here. Thank you very much, Premananda Mataji. Thank you so much, Dayal Mukund Prabhu and entire family. And thank you all the wonderful devotees for kindly assembling here. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvam sah purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skalitam kinchit. It's possible I might have made a mistake. It's very important that in this presentation at least, it's very possible. I made a mistake. I translated Brahma as what? Mistake. And that's a mistake actually, because Brahma is not mistake. Brahma is what? Illusion. So whatever mistakes I made with Vamsa, your learned devotees, purayantu tat. You please correct those mistakes. But yadatra saushthavam kinchit. If there's anything nice, please remember. Tad guru reva. It belongs to my Gurujanas, my Diksha Guru, Sri Srimad Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj, my Shiksha Guru, all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, all the God brothers of Srila Prabhupada, all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas from all the families of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the past, in the future, and in the present, including all of you are also my gurus. It belongs to you. May nahi, it doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much, devotees. Hare Krishna. My special thanks also to the entire family, Yash Prabhu and Ravi Prabhu and Kiran Mataji and Prashant Prabhu. Thank you so much. And Harini Mataji and what is the name of the daughter? Bhavya. Okay, wonderful family, devotees. So I think they have organized, because they have organized this very wonderful event today, they have invited all of us, they have opened the doors of their home. We should all definitely pray that all auspiciousness comes to the family from all directions. Let us chant the Maha Mantra so that we pray for the entire family, dear devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. So, Prabhu, do we have time for Q&A? Or
Yes, Prabhu. Time is yours.
okay, theek hai. So I am not bothered about Prashad. So I hope. So who? Yes, Prabhu. First question. Let's give the mic to him. Yeah, the mic is coming your way. Yes.
Thank you for, I don't know what to say, these realizations you extracted from this. It's unbelievable, Prabhu. Thank you so much for.
Prabhu.
What's the problem? We make a mistakes, but because that we have more than 18 and unlimited, and we are part and parcel of Krishna.
Yeah.
What is wrong in it?
What is wrong in our making mistakes? What is wrong in our making mistakes is, forget about making mistakes, even when we don't make mistakes, when we do things correctly, it is done out of swarth. And what is the meaning of swarth? Selfishness. But most of the times, the living entities in the world are driven by swarth. I showed that verse from that section from Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi's discussion yesterday. Were you present? Yes. So, Are Maitreyi, huh? A living entity does not love his or her spouse because they love the spouse. They love the spouse because they love themselves. So in such a framework of mind, even perfection is dragged down to imperfection. I hope you're able to understand. Huh? And when the framework is centered around prema, even imperfection is raised to the standard of perfection. That's the fundamental difference between the living entities and Bhagwan. That Bhagwan doesn't live for his pleasure. Bhagwan has already achieved his pleasure. He is called as Purna Kam. He is already fully satisfied. The reason why he performs these pastimes is for the pleasure of his devotees. It's very simple. Otherwise, as far as self-satisfaction is concerned, he's already achieved all of that. And he's constantly, fully, completely self-satisfied in all ways. This is a central principle of Vedanta. Bhagwan cannot be dissatisfied. It's a central principle of Vedanta. Bhagwan cannot have any unfulfilled desires. But even though he has no unfulfilled desires, he seems to exhibit some activities. And activities are exhibited by people who have unfulfilled desires. So why does Bhagwan exhibit activities or pastimes? So for whose pleasure does Bhagwan exhibit pastimes when he is self-satisfied? So for whose pleasure will he exhibit pastimes? For devotees. That makes all the difference in the world. And for that reason, imperfections are raised to the standard of perfection. And all of us who are always dissatisfied, so the activities that we execute are because of lack of something in our life. And because of that, even perfections turn into imperfections. I hope you are able to understand. So that is the fundamental difference. So I hope that answers your question. Only. So yeah, Dayal Mukund Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So you presented all of these examples of Krishna exhibiting these defects, acting with prema to his devotees, and his devotees also do the same to him. His associates do the same back to him. My question is, when we read Krishna Lila, we understand theoretically that all of these things, lust, envy, anger, all of the emotions being exhibited are exhibitions of their prema, theoretically. But it, especially like certain dealings, like with the gopis or others, it's very hard to see logically, to understand how is this love in this act that either they're doing to him or he's doing to them. It's really hard to see logically the love that's being exhibited. So when you read that, is our approach supposed to be, let me sit with this until I can understand the love, or is it, I know that this is love even though I can't understand it, so I'll just...
Yeah. So Sri Rupa Goswami, the question is very esoteric in nature because it concerns about the dealings of Bhagwan with the gopis. I will try to explain the question. That he said that in the dealings with gopis which apparently appear as lust, it is very difficult to understand how it is for the pleasure of the other person. It in fact seems that both people are having pleasure and enjoyment. So how is it that we see that it is for the pleasure of the other person? So in the beginning, we have to understand that Sri Rupa Goswami said in the Ujjwal Nilmani, because actually this is dealt with in the Ujjwal Nilmani. So I have to quote that particular literature. The Ujjwal Nilmani, Sri Rupa Goswami says that Krishna's interaction with the opposite gender is classified into three particular types. He calls it Sadharani Rati, Samanjasa Rati, and Samartha Rati. I will give meanings of these three. Sadharani Rati is when a particular lady interacts with Sri Krishna out of desire of her own happiness, and Sri Krishna accepts that. And the example of that is Kubja, who associated with Krishna not for Krishna's happiness primarily, but for whose happiness? Her own happiness. And Krishna accepted that. Krishna has no issues if somebody comes to him out of a desire of their own happiness. So that is Kubja. Second is Samanjasa Rati. Samanjasa is mixed feelings. The queens of Dwarka fall into this category. They partially desire the happiness of Krishna and they partially desire their own happiness. So they fall into the category known as Samanjasa, mixed Rati. So Krishna honors them. And then there is Samartha Rati, wherein the attachment to Sri Krishna is so much that they forget about their own pleasure. And that is exhibited in the pastimes of the gopis. A small, faint understanding of this can be had by people who have some experience of such things in the world, or they have seen other people experience love in the world. Because you see that people take great pains for the happiness of the other person when they are in love. And they don't mind actually taking a lot of efforts for the other person. But that you require genuine love. Because these three types of love may also be seen somewhat in the material world. There are some romantic relationships wherein both people are living for their own happiness. You might have seen that in the world. And these relationships also work. But they work in a very compromised way. Then there are relationships where two people fall in love because they partially want their happiness and they partially want the happiness of somebody else, the other person. These relationships also work, but they often come with all these conflicts of, why are you not giving me happiness? And then there are relationships in which you fall head over heels in love with another person and you forget about your existence. And the purpose of your existence becomes the happiness of that person. So you can have a faint idea of that. But no matter how much I describe to you, the actual experience is something completely different. The Narad Bhakti Sutra says, Mukha Swadanavat. The actual experience is like a mute person after tasting a nice rasgulla trying to describe what rasgulla tastes like. But he's a mute person. He cannot explain like that. So it's very difficult to explain that sort of a prema, wherein you are so deeply attached and attracted to a person that you forget about your own happiness. And then in those interactions, Krishna also wants to give some happiness to them. So definitely Krishna is not going to keep them without happiness. Krishna also interacts with them and gives them happiness. And then they see that this person is happy by seeing us happy. In order to make him happy, we should also accept some happiness. And that is the reason why they accept happiness. And it's a very simple principle. You can also see it in the material world. Acharyas often give examples from material world. Let's say there is a boy and girl who fall in love, and the boy is like, he's head over heels, he has fallen in love with her, and he tries his best to please her. And then the girl gives a gift to him. And he says, no, I don't want anything from you. Why? I don't want my happiness. So the girl will say, are you okay? Huh? My happiness is in seeing you happy. For my happiness, you accept the gift. So, should he accept or should he not accept? He should accept. So, even when they accept some happiness for Krishna, the underlying motivation is that by this acceptance, it will add to his happiness that we accepted his gift. So that is the motivation with which they accept. Otherwise, sometimes we have an understanding that the gopis are living miserable lives where only they're giving happiness to him and no happiness to themselves. So that is not the condition of the gopis. They are living a supreme bliss because there is zero attachment to self-happiness. But Bhagwan is ensuring unlimited amount of happiness to them. And they are accepting it. But the only reason for that acceptance is so that he becomes happy by seeing us happy. And that's all. So I hope that answers your query to some degree of satisfaction. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Please take the mic. The mic is coming towards you.
Like in today's class, you focused mainly on the faults of Krishna, and like he came in the human body, But when we read all the purports and all those things, so Srila Prabhupada clearly says that when Krishna came on the earth, he was in his transcendental body. It was not a human body. So how do I understand that?
So that is the exact meaning of Naralila. Naralila means Bhagwan has accepted a human form. Bhagwan could have accepted the form of a devata, of a demigod. Bhagwan could have accepted the form of any higher living entity. Why did Bhagwan accept a human-like form? That's what the Acharyas are asking us to meditate upon. Hasn't Bhagwan accepted a form as a fish in the lower species of life, as half animal, half human? And then what is the purpose of accepting a human form? The purpose of accepting a human form is so that humans can relate to him. Now, as a human, when you relate to another human, do you want to relate to a human who is fully perfect, or do you want to relate to a human who has some imperfections? Please tell me.
Yeah, like us.
Otherwise, how will you be able to relate to that person? Just say if this is the first time I'm meeting him and people, he's Dayal Mukund Prabhu, is the epitome of perfection, and if people go like, Hare Krishna Prabhu, so that's how I will relate to him. Huh? But I become his friend, and then I come to him, he's also like me. Now it's sweeter. So Mataji, if you want that sweetness in the relationship, sweetness comes when you come to realize that this person is as defective as I am. So we are in the same position.
But his body is transcendental.
Of course, it is transcendental. And it is explained that the only reason why he displays the defects is for what? For prema. For increasing love of his life. He doesn't display defects because he becomes conditioned by Maya. That is not the reason why he's... Sri Jiva Goswami had said that all. I quoted that. Only reason for displaying defects is to make sure that the devotees in a human form are able to relate to him like a human. Otherwise, he will remain that supreme personality of Godhead whom you will never be able to relate to. And do we want such a Bhagavan? No. We want a Bhagavan with whom we can relate like this. So that is the reason why he displays all those defects. So I hope that answers your query. Okay, thank you. Yes, Mataji. Okay.
The question I'm having is, so that is his original form.
Yeah.
And we hear just to borrow the biblical phrase, man was made in the image of God. So when you keep saying that he's taken on a human form. Could you explain what that
Yeah.
means, Prabhu?
He has accepted an eternal human form. The form was never created. His form is eternally like a human. And why to have a form which eternally has the potential for defects? Why not have an eternally perfect form? He also has an eternal form which is free from all the human defects. That is Bhagwan Narayan, Bhagwan Vishnu. Those forms are also there. But if we restrict Bhagwan only to perfection, that is another imperfection. Please try to understand. To restrict Bhagwan only to perfection is also an imperfection. Bhagwan is perfect when he has the freedom to be perfect as well as imperfect. That is Gaudiya Vaishnava Darshan. That is Bhagwan. And Sri Jiva Goswami quotes this in the Sandarbhas. I will quote this verse from the Bhagavad Sandarbha. I will show this verse. Yeah. Dear devotees, please repeat the highlighted section after me. Viruddha dharma ruposa Aishwaryat Purushottama. Viruddha dharma rupo asa. He is Viruddha dharma rup. He has mutually contradictory qualities harmonized within him. So he is perfect yet imperfect. That is what Bhagwan is. Can there be any person in this world who is simultaneously perfect and imperfect? Is it possible? No. But in Bhagwan it is possible that he is simultaneously perfect and imperfect. All of us know this verse, Ugram, Viram, Mahavishnum, Jwalantam, Sarvato Mukham, Narsimham, Bhishanam, Bhadram, Mrityum Namamya. This verse is originally from the Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. And Sri Jiva Goswami quotes from Sri Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. This is the explanation that he quotes from Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. Dear devotees, please repeat after me what Sri Jiva Goswami quotes directly from Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. Please repeat after me. Ugram, Anugram, Viram, Aviram, Mahantam, Amahantam, Vishnum, Avishnum, Jwalantam, Ajwalantam, Sarvatomukham, Sarvatomukham. This is Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. This is the explanation of that Nrsimha mantra. Ugram, Viram, Mahavishnum, Jwalantam, Sarva. Ugram, what is the meaning of Ugram? Fierce. Anugram, at the same time he is timid. Anugram, not fierce. Viram, what is the meaning of Viram? Very brave. Aviram, not brave. Mahantam, all pervasive. Very great in size. Amahantam, very small in size. Vishnum, all pervasive. Avishnum, not all pervasive. Jwalantam, very fiery. Ajwalantam, very cooling. Sarvatomukham, everywhere are his faces. Asarvatomukham, his faces are not everywhere. How is it possible simultaneously? So this is Gaudiya Vaishnava Darshan. This is Bhagwan. Now I will explain how. Ugram, he is very fierce. But when Mother Yashoda shows him the stick, he becomes Anugram, dear devotee. He is Viram. He is very brave. He is the Acharya of Gita, where he said, Yuddhe chapi apalaya. Kshatriya should never show his back in a war. But Aviram, in front of Kal Yavan, he showed his Aviram. He ran away from that Kal Yavan. And people worship him still because of that. Mahantam, he is very great in size. Because the entire Virat Purush is him. Mahantam, yet he is Chota, he is a small boy. Vishnum, he is all pervasive. Yet Avishnum, he is also localized. Jwalantam, he is very fierce towards towards the demons. Ajwalantam, but very cooling for the devotees. Sarvatomukham, everywhere are his faces. Asarvatomukham, but when he ran away from Mother Yashoda, he wouldn't look in her direction. Dear devotees, this is our Gaudiya Vaishnava Bhagwan. Isn't it? So this is the God who harmonizes all opposites within him. This is the Gaudiya Vaishnava Bhagwan. I hope that answers your query. So this is very big tattva in Bhagavad Sandarbha. Right. So yes.
Just found it very endearing, Prabhu, that the God that we're, trying to dedicate our lives to, he has so many imperfections.
Yeah.
And it's very disarming. It's very reassuring. And it's also an invitation to be vulnerable myself and honest and transparent about my own imperfections.
100%. Yes.
So I just wanted to offer that as an appreciation for, how it landed for me.
Thank you.
And I have a couple of questions. One is just continuing with this theme. So it seems that maturity is the ability to hold both these aspects of God, which is perfection and imperfection, because especially when we're approaching the deity form of the Lord, that's not the time to think of his imperfections.
Why not?
His awe and reverence really inspires us to rise to the level of, the standards that Prabhupada has given us in deity worship. I don't see how we could come to that if we're meditating on his imperfections. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on, it seems like there's different aspects that we want to connect with, his imperfection or his perfection.
Yeah. So when we enter into the altar in order to dress the deities, we enter with a mood of awe and reverence, and we see him as Bhagwan. And then, of course, with such a mood, you cannot see imperfections in him. Technically speaking, when a devotee advances on the path of deity worship, then the relationship also has to undergo that change, wherein when they enter the altar and when they start relating to Bhagwan, at least in the minds, they should understand that this person whom I am dressing is actually the son of Nanda Maharaj. In Goloka Vrindavan too, the servants of Nanda Maharaj, they dress Krishna, but they are aware of all the faults of Sri Krishna. I hope you are able to. They are aware of all the faults of Sri Krishna. And this person was sleeping till 7 o'clock in the morning. So now he woke up late, and he woke up after everybody. He doesn't come to Mangalarti. So they know. So they are aware of his faults in the spirit. But as a sadhaka, we follow all the rules and regulations. But the mental aspiration is always to relate to Bhagwan as that cowherd son of Nanda Maharaj. As long as it is not slackening your practice of sadhan bhakti, any mental meditation which is based on the authentic shastras is always recommended. Very important. I spoke 3 things. As long as it is not affecting your sadhan bhakti, any meditation on Bhagwan which is based on the authentic shastras is always favorable for your bhajan. Because what are we concerned about? Our concern is our sadhan bhakti should not become slackened. As long as that is taken care of, if you are thinking of those pastimes of Bhagwan where he is mistaking other people for Mother Yashoda and Rohini, or he is making other mistakes, or where he is speaking lies, so even while dressing Bhagwan, you are having that humor in your mind and that positive frame of mind, and you are doing your seva very nicely, but you are relating to him not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but now you have gradually learned to relate to him as the son of Nanda Maharaj. So that is how that shift needs to happen gradually. Otherwise, throughout your life, if you keep relating to him like that, then he will remain like that. And you don't want him to remain like that, ideally, as a Gaudiya Vaishnava. You want to relate personally to him. So, for a newcomer who has begun on the path of deity worship, Srila Prabhupada said, worship them like Lakshmi Narayan. Wonderful. But the ideal standard is that of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. This is also ideal, but the ideal aspiration is to reach the standard of the 6 Goswamis, where you relate to Bhagwan as the son of Nanda Maharaj, who has all these defects, but still as a servant we dress him. In our seva we don't do any defects, but in our mind we know this person, he has so many defects. He's just like us, he is. So that is how we relate to him. Okay? This is how it can be understood. Okay? Thank you. So who is maintaining time? Dayal Mukund Prabhu. You tell me when to stop. All right? I am placing a great responsibility upon you. You tell me when to stop. Oh. Wait. All right.
I have another question, Prabhu, and I hope this does not come off as challenging. I would like to submit it for your.
Please challenge. I would love to hear. This is what I love. Please challenge straight away. No problem. Yeah.
So this is specifically related to the very first verse that described how kajal on the eyes of a beautiful lady, and it's within the context of imperfection and really welcoming Bhagwan's imperfections and settling into the gifts of our own imperfection. So I find that you often quote these verses where there's the beauty of a lady is described, and I've heard you talk about it's at 3 levels. There's the bodily, there's the words, there's the mind. So it's not just at an external level. And yet it seems like there's a lot of emphasis on the external level, which, I want to reconcile that with this attitude that we have of just welcoming imperfection, juxtaposed with, like, there seems to be a different standard for people who are in the bodies of women.
Yeah. Bhagwan invested most of the beauty in the feminine gender.
Yes, I've heard you say that.
I very clearly, most of the beauty in the world, Bhagwan invested in the feminine gender. And every entity in the material world, including a lady, has some relationship with Bhagwan and can be connected to Bhagwan. Therefore, the very definition of Yukta Vairagya is Hari Sambandhi Vastu. That you see every entity in the world as being connected to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. The impersonalist runs away from beautiful ladies. There is a reason for that, because the impersonalist wants to run away from the material world. So for him, beautiful ladies are Maya. So run away from. And of course, anybody who gets agitated by thinking of them, obviously they should not meditate upon them. But every entity in the world has a purpose, and it's very important to understand the purpose of material entities in the world. Please tell me, is the moon material? Yes or no? Yes. So why do the acharyas speak so much about the moon? Why do the acharyas speak so much about the moon? Because that moon is the only way we can have a standard of comparison to so many bodily features of Shri Krishna. Otherwise, we should reject the moon, because we don't have. Why should a Vaishnava have anything to do with the beauty of the moon? Because it's a material thing. How many of you have heard the sounds of a cuckoo? No, you heard the sounds of a cuckoo. Huh? So those sounds are like the 5th note coming from the flute of Shri Krishna. How important it is for a poet to observe nature, not to run away from nature. A poet who runs away from nature can never be a poet. Can an impersonalist be a poet? This question has to be asked. Can an impersonalist be a poet? Because everything is Brahman, Jagat Mithya, the world is false, only Brahman is the reality. What poetry will you write? For in order to write poetry, you should be able to observe the material world. There is no question of running away from the material world for a person who wants to write poetry. Everything in the material world has a purpose and can be connected to Shri Krishna. So, when the acharyas describe that the ladies are beautiful, they have these beautiful eyes, Sri Rupa Goswami gives the definition of lavanya. What is lavanya? Lavanya is often translated as beauty, but lavanya is radiance. Mukta phaleshu chhaya stralatvam ivantara yad vibhati pratyangeshu lavanyam tadihochyate. That when each and every limb of the body of a person gives out radiance like a pearl, and that radiance enters into the eyes of a certain person and captivates that person completely, that experience is called as lavanya. Lavanya comes from the Sanskrit term lavan. Lavan is salt. Just as salt adds that attractiveness to food, so radiance adds attractiveness to the form of a person. So this is what, unless you, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, they are observers of nature and they have used everything in the world in the service of Bhagwan. Unless if we run away from it, there is no point of being a Kavi. So all these descriptions are needed, but a person who can handle maturely these things and connect them to Bhagwan is the person who should dive into this. And if somebody is becoming agitated, then they should not dive into this. That is the only criteria required for that. Otherwise, the whole world is yours to dedicate to Bhagwan. Anything in the world can be dedicated to Bhagwan. And nothing is rejectable. There was an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Rai Ramananda. And we know about Sri Rai Ramananda that he would often deal with the Devi Dasis, the ladies who were dancing in front of Bhagwan Jagannath. And that he would never be agitated, even when he was in close contact with those ladies. So, the beauty that ladies have in this world is a mere semblance of the beauty that Bhagwan has. So there is nothing extraordinary about the beauty of ladies in this world. It's just a mere fragment of the beauty that Bhagwan has. And if our aim is to get absorbed in the beauty of a lady, then we will remain on that level. But if our aim is to transcend the so-called conceptions of beauty of ladies and men in this world in order to appreciate what the original beautiful personality is, then every beautiful form in the world has some utility. I will end with this small. Last year when I came to the US, I went to one particular place and I saw a small boy, whose eyes were exactly like what you call lotus eyes, And those fluttering lotus eyes, I just saw from a distance and I was hesitant even to take a photograph. I wanted to take a photograph for my, but you know how things are with children. I'm very hesitant to take a photograph. But my goodness, I never saw such eyes again. Never in my life I had seen, not in India, nowhere in the world I saw. He was from Indian parents. The boy had such beautiful eyes. But, and I wanted to, take a photograph. But what to do? In India, I could have still asked, can I take a photograph? Here, there are some other challenges to asking for a photograph. So, I said to myself, Hari Parshad Das, just take a photograph in your heart and remember that Bhagwan's eyes are somewhat similar to this in his childhood. My goodness, if I see that boy again, and I don't even know the name of I forgot, and I forgot everything, what to do. But once in a lifetime moment it was. And I just have a memory of it in my heart. And that's what I have to live with. I wish I could have taken a photograph, but nobody's eyes I saw like that. No child's eyes I saw like that. Where it's like the perfection of eyes was that lotus-like eyes he had. Wonderful, beautiful. I felt as if I should keep staring at him. But I don't want to give the... I don't want to come off as a creepy person, What to do? For me, it is a reference. I hope it is a reference to understand that the beauty of that who transcends all of these standards of beauty. So that is the mood with which these descriptions are given. There's no point in running away from beauty. Unless you are an impersonalist who wants to run away, then you can run away from beauty. Otherwise, there's no point of running away from beauty. Okay, thank you. Okay, Premanand Mataji, I think we should stop now, or should we continue? Now, he will not say anything, so we will...
I really appreciate what I heard today, because I was thinking that any amount of analysis is never going to bring us to the point of naturally appreciating the imperfections in Krishna without
I feel like it is something which has to come by his own mercy, the mercy of Guru, and there is a time for it to manifest, but we should be open to this.
Correct.
And this class really opened my eyes that it is all there, but we are not always thinking about it in that way. But thank you for opening our hearts with this revelation. And every time you come here, it is always nurturing. And I once again wanted to thank you for all the, effort that you put into coming through Naperville. This is not like on the way somewhere, you always make an effort to come. We are very, very grateful for that.
Thank you. I know Dayal Mukund Prabhu stays here, and me and him are same defects. So I come.
I was asking him the other day some question to him because something related to your class and some other podcast and things like that. And these days you see that a lot of controversies and people have a lot to talk about controversies, and in that context, I was talking to him something, and I wanted to know when you were telling, craziness, in what's going on. So he was saying that there was a time in his life when he used to what is the, all these kind of questions it used to come, but it has come to a point arguing about all these things and wasting energy talking about this is not really going to take you anywhere. This process is different, I guess, but understanding this details are essential also in one sense. But I still feel like the arguments that are going on, it's such a waste of energy.
Right.
And anyway,
that's where me and him are like-minded. He knows me, even though we don't speak so much directly, but he knows my mood. So that's why we are like-minded. He knows.
He's fortunate to have you. I don't even know how. He sure is fortunate to have you as a close friend.
I'm very fortunate to be in contact with him and the entire family. And thank you so much for kindly inviting me. I'm very grateful to Pratibhahu Prabhu and Kathamrita Mataji for kindly hosting me at their place. Where is Mataji? Sorry. Mataji hid behind the pillar. Thank you, Mataji, for kindly hosting me. And thank you all of you dear devotees for kindly being present here. Hare Krishna. Jai.